Hello and welcome to Unjustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not a member of our newest channel, please hit the link in the description box below and join us there as well. Unjustified Crimes, that is where we also cover the breaking crime news, as well as I will do all book reviews and book synopsis there. And let's get right on to the topic of the day. Hey guys, that I had Tuesday night. I'm not even really sure where to begin with this, so I'm just going to start here. The whole reason I had that live is I was asked to help someone have a voice. And that would be the Watts family. Ronnie reached out to me and he wanted to just give a message, send a message to the true crime community and the people that were following the case of his son. And I told him I'd be glad to, yeah, I will do what I can, He also sent me a photo just out of the blue, did not ask at all for me to share that with you guys. But I thought it was a very touching photo. I even shared with you the message he gave me with this photo. The photo was of the memorial that they have in their backyard of their grandchildren and Shanann. There had been several rumors that I personally had heard, as well as many other people had heard, that they didn't include Shanann's name on that memorial. I'm not even aware if Ronnie knows that that rumor was out there. He probably doesn't. But we do. Us in the true crime community, we know. We've seen that rumor, heard that rumor, and could never really, or I couldn't say either way because I didn't know. Well, that proved that her name is absolutely on it. There was a couple of songs that he says they listen to all the time, about every day. And they think about Shanann and their grandchildren. He shared those songs with me as well. And if you watched the live, you seen that. There was many in there that appreciated the other side, and they wanted to hear the voice of the other side because that's something we really haven't heard. But there was some of you in there that was very vile and very ruthless. Why are you doing that? I was even seeing messages that said it was clickbait. Please tell me how this is clickbait. My live was about a message from Ronnie, which I played, and the message was also about Jamie, his daughter, Chris's sister, and some of the rumors surrounding Nicole. Now you see this thumbnail here, and you see my title of this live. Please tell me how this is clickbait. How does this title and thumbnail not tell almost 100% what the live will be about? And it was. Now, I had fully planned to answer any questions that I may possibly could, truthfully. I'm not going to fabricate anything, and I'm not going to metaphorically say anything. I'm going to say it as I've been told, and that's all I can do. Don't shoot the messenger. That's all I can do, right? I've done that with the discovery. I read every word of the discovery, all the way down to the scribbled notes that's in the discovery. Did I agree with all the interviews in the discovery? No, I didn't. Of course not. I even read Chris's transcript from his polygraph. A lot of it that you didn't even see by watching the video of the polygraph. There was things in the transcript that you didn't see in that. I read that as well. Did I agree with it? Of course not. But I read it. I gave y'all that message. It's the same thing. I believe everybody's voice deserves to be heard. I base my channel on this, and all of you know this, that's been with my channel for any length of time. Unjustified, where we cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. So if you're not understanding what those words mean, then this channel's probably not for you. I want to bring you the whole story. I don't want to bring you one side. I don't want to bring you just the discovery and just the interviews and, when we all know there's more to it. I want to bring you all I can. There's so many questions surrounding this case. And if you're one of the ones that believe that the case is unquestionable, there was no problem with the investigation, there should nothing else be even talked about in it, then why are you clicking? Why are you wasting your time to click on my content that has distinctively what it's going to be about? Do you do it just to go in there and degrade and belittle? That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? We have enough division in the world. Why would you want to add to it? And a lot of you are as old or older than I am, spewing hate. I know my generation, we was raised not to do that way. So I don't get where it comes from. Now let me tell you a little secret that a lot of you may not know. I feel like you damn sure don't know it, or you probably wouldn't be doing this. So let me tell you a little secret. These two families that so many people think there needs to be a great divide between, there needs to be a side chosen. These two families do not feel that way about each other. That may be a big shock factor to many of you to hear, but they support each other. Some of you may believe that getting on any of these lives or any of these videos that has anything to do with the other side and spewing hate and belittling, degrading, calling names, you may think for some reason in your mind that you're defending the raw sex, or you're being their almighty warrior. Well, that's not the case, guys. These two families support each other. They don't hate on each other, and they shouldn't. They both shared something very precious, and that was their grandchildren. And they both lost something very precious, their grandchildren. And one lost a daughter, and one lost a daughter-in-law. No matter who got along in the living years with who, and no matter, we all have issues and beef with our family from time to time. Don't deny it. You have to. And if you are denying it, then you're lying to yourself. Families do that. They make up and they go on. It happens. So who are we to get in there and make a great divide on two families that need each other? They've already lost so much. So we're going to get down here and we're going to choose a side and we're going to be the warrior for the side we're on. You're not doing them any favors. They support each other. Another thing you may not be aware of, actually I know you're not, is as recent as Mother's Day. No, that's not even been a month ago, right? As recent as Mother's Day, they spoke. And they supported each other. They sent each other their love, right? They did. I'll even tell you this story. It's a small one, but it's very meaningful. It might make you think a minute, and if it doesn't, that's okay. On Mother's Day, Ronnie was in his backyard, and he was grilling some steaks, burgers, whatever, because it was Mother's Day. And his grill, he said, is, not too far from the memorial they have set up as well in their backyard. And Ronnie said that, he was listening to the song Broken Halos, and that song means the world to him. And I will listen to it. I haven't yet, but he's asked me to listen to that, and I'm going to add. As soon as I make this video, actually, I'm going to listen to it for him. But he was listening to this, and he just choked up, He was hurt. And he immediately picked up the phone and he called Frank. And he told Frank, I'm just thinking about Sandy today. I just wanted to let her know, we love her and we're thinking about her. And, Frank spoke back and they shared, their love for each other, and that was it. There was no hate. There was no... Frank didn't come at him saying, oh, how can you even say that? No, there was none of that. These two families support each other. Even in Frankie's interview after the fact with the detectives, he even told them that he was, he had been talking to Jamie and, comforting her. And they were supporting each other, guys. Why bring a divide? Why even try to do a divide between these two grandparents? They both lost. Nobody won here. They try to support each other behind the scenes, right? So why do we have to try to be the ones out here with a side and being the leader or the hero or the warrior of that side? Why can't we be like them? The ones that actually suffered these losses. Them. They support each other. Now sure, the Ruseks, they've got a problem with Chris. Understandably. And you know what? Ronnie and Cindy understand that. Of course they do. They don't hate them for it. At all. I have never heard the Ruseks say one bad word about the Watts family. And if they have, I totally missed it. Now, granted, most of the channels that they do go on and things like that, I really don't watch. But, however, I've watched Sandy's cooking show, and I've come to know and hear where her heart's at. And her heart's not division. So we're not doing the families any justice or any favors by trying to throw this great divide out there. Now, me bringing you Ronnie's message was meant with all good intentions. And whether you want to believe what he says or not, that's completely up to you. That's your prerogative, and you have a right to your own thought and mind and opinion. And I respect it, no matter what it is, as long as it's respectful, mannerable, and not elementary. We don't do name calling. There's no sense in it. It only causes hurt. Even the ones doing all the name calling and bullying and making fun of people and body shaming and God, I've heard so much. Even the ones doing that, do you truly support cyberbullying? I don't think you do. But what you're not realizing is you're doing it too. If you want to name call and degrade and belittle people, for the love of God, please do it in private with somebody you can vent to. Don't do it on a public platform where everybody else can join in and start making it one huge crap show. Because seriously, what's the point? On my channel, there's not a point. You're going to be blocked. Your comment may be there for a second in my life, if that. Just as quick as my moderator's eye see it, it's gone. You do it again and you're just blocked. Now here's the thing, if you're on my channel and you're not open-minded and you don't want to hear every side of any case I cover, not just this one, any case, then this is not the channel for you. I go into any case I study and look into and research with all I got. I go into every interview I can find. I get in touch with anybody I can get in touch with of relevance. A lot of times they get in touch with me. And I do this with all good intentions of cases that are unjustified, in my opinion. The Watts case, I've read every word of that discovery. Every word. So there's no way that discovery can be looked at, even all the body cam footages, everything, and there not be some questions raised. And why didn't investigators do? And then you have those out here, well, they did. They investigated everything. You know, there's nothing else to look at. You know, this person was investigated and that person was investigated. It's just not in there. They redacted it. My question is, why would they take away things from the discovery that could answer so many questions that they know is out here today? Why wouldn't they want to add that back into the discovery? Another question I have is, why did, after the first drop of the discovery, some of the times and different things like that were taken out? I'm not even going to get into all of my questions about the discovery and the investigation, because believe me, there's many. So when I bring another side or another, that is their truth, okay? Whether you believe it or I believe it or not, that's their truth. And you and I can disagree with it all day, and you and I can not believe it all day. But it still needs to be heard, and it still needs to be out there, right? I got so many comments last night. Comments like, one of them, well, Cindy Watts did say she knows how Shanann is. This is one that I would have addressed last night, but however, had I addressed it, I would have probably caught so much backlash. And by that point, I was already disgusted. Just because I was trying to bring out and help you all that always says, I wish there would have been a trial. Another part. However, it just didn't get answered. Let me answer that now to the best of my ability and the way I see that. Now, you may see it a completely different way, and that's okay. And I respect your opinion. I want you to know that up front. And if you don't respect mine, that's okay too. But don't come at me because I have an opinion. And I see this all the time, where Cindy told Chris, well, we know how she was. That does sound like a very cold and cruel thing to say, right? I get it. But here's the thing that you do have to look at. When she said that, when you all heard that, it was from the leaked tapes of a phone call, right? You remember. It's right here.
What up? What's up? Ooh, outside cooking the turkey. Outside cooking the turkey? But you're outside? Hang on a second. Just a second.
Hey, hon. Oh, my God. We're so happy to hear from you.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. We love you. We believe you. Chris, I love you. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And we know what she was like. Okay? We just love you. And they can record all they want.
I know, but just remember, like, she was a wonderful woman too, okay?
We know that.
Like, I don't want the lasting memory of anybody to be like, something that was...
No, none of it. So sweet. None of it should have happened.
Okay, that was a late phone conversation between Chris and his family on Thanksgiving. Here you will even hear him say it's Thanksgiving. We all know that Chris was moved to Dodge, where he is currently, in December of 2018. So when this was said, this is before Chris even went to Dodge. He was still in Colorado. Okay? Are you following me? Chris didn't give that second confession or interview, whatever you want to refer to it as. And what does that tell you? That is before Chris ever came out and said that he is the one that was guilty for doing all of that. Now, his parents were well aware that he had just taken the plea deal, right? He had just had sentencing like days before this call. We all seen the sentencing. Chris didn't say anything, nothing. He just agreed to all charges. The only thing Ronnie and Cindy had ever heard him say at that point when she said that was that first confession. The first confession where it was, that Tammy put in his mind is what we all want to believe. I do believe that. I believe when Tammy mentioned it, it was like something that he could just use and go with, and I do believe that. Never have I ever, and even the Wattses were very well aware of my thoughts here, ever believed that Shanann harmed her children in any way whatsoever. So the Watts are well aware of my feelings there. They know I feel that way. But at the time, that is the only thing that Chris had ever told them that happened to their grandchildren. Well, keep in mind that there was not always, flowers, daisies, and rainbows between Shanann and Cindy. They had, they got into bickers. They got into arguments. They weren't always perfect, but sometimes they were. Sometimes they got along wonderfully. Cindy's the one that went to Colorado when Cece was born. She was in the room when Cece was born, and she stayed there, with her to help her with her, and I don't, probably Miss Rusek couldn't get off work. I don't know the situation there, but I do know there was times where there was harmony. They did love each other. They did. But there's nobody that can sit here and tell me right now and be honest about it that you've never had beef with your family or in-laws, ever. And if you can say that, then you live on a completely different universe than I do. You're just not going to always see eye to eye with your family or in-laws. It happens. There's going to be issues. And what usually happens after that? They make up and they get along and everything's good. And I personally don't know how much of a differences these two had with each other and how many times it happened, but I'll say this. I do believe that they love Shanann and I know they love their grandkids. And I know they miss Shanann and miss the grandkids. I know this. I'm a pretty good judge of character. There's so many people out there that say, I wish there had been a trial. Wish there had been a trial. I'm damn guilty of saying that. And why do we wish there had been a trial? So we could have heard the whole story, or at least as much as we could, right? A whole lot more than what we got, and we got a lot, but there's a lot missing as well. So let's just do a little metaphor here. Get in your mind just a moment. What if there had been a trial? Just saying, what if? And let's take it a step further. What if you lived in Colorado and you got called to jury duty on this case? When it comes time for court date and you're sitting on that jury and the prosecution is laying out their case and they're showing you everything that we've seen. They're telling you all about the discovery. They're even going so far as showing you the crime scene photos, everything, right? Because really, that's the only side that we have is the prosecution side, right? That's it. For the most part, we don't have anything on the defense side. So let's just say that everything that you know about this case is laid out to you. They're presenting their case and they're doing a damn fine job of it. And you're listening and you're taking all of this in as a juror because you want to make sure that you're going to make the right call. So as you're taking all this in, the prosecution rests, right? They're done. Now the judge allows the defense to come up and present their case, bring their evidence and their witnesses forward. What are you going to do? Are you going to jump up and say, wait a minute, I don't need to hear this. I don't want to hear nothing they have to say. They're liars. I've done seen everything the prosecution has showed me and my mind's made up. I don't want to hear a word of this. I don't need to hear this. I already have my opinion. I'm ready to cast my vote. Well, the judge is going to look at you and they're going to say, no, that's not how it works. The defense has the right, by law, to present their case as well. Are you going to look at the judge and say, why in the hell have you even got the defense in here? Are you pro-criminal? Are you pro-murder? Did you not just hear what the prosecution said? Did you see those pictures? He's a monster. I don't need to know any more than I know. You're an idiot, Judge. You're ignorant. What do you think the judge is going to do? Do you think he's going to say, yeah, you're right. We've heard all we need to hear. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, what more can the defense say but a bunch of lies? I mean, we've heard all we got to hear. Yeah, forget you, defense. You're out of here. case closed. Don't work that way. You jump up and you say the things that are said in here and the way you don't want to even hear the other side. Let me tell you, you're going to go to jail. That's contempt. Not only contempt, that's disorderly conduct, amongst many other things that can be thrown in there. So here's the thing. When you say, I wish there had been a trial, I wished we have something from the defense and not just from the prosecution side. I wonder what the defense was working on. Any of that. If you're guilty of ever saying any of that, then how come you're putting up such a damn argument when little tiny bits and pieces of what would have been in that trial is given to you now? It would have been there. There would have been witnesses. There would have been evidence. There would have been proof, and it would have been nasty. There would have been so much mudslinging. It wouldn't have went pretty. Believe me. Some cases, the defense even presents a better case than the prosecution. It happens. Look at the Casey Anthony case. The prosecution just assumed, with all the evidence and proof and everything they had, and the expert witnesses and all that, that it really didn't matter what the defense even brought to the table, because it wouldn't sway a jury away from what they just seen from the prosecution. It didn't work that way. Even the jurors say the defense brought a hell of a lot stronger game. And the jurors wasn't even happy with the way they ruled, most of them. But they had to go by the law. So that's what they did, and she was innocent. Do I agree with that? Hell no. But that's another case for another day. This one, same thing, y'all. If you wish there was a trial, then you got to be listening to both sides. You got to be listening to all sides, you know? If Nicole Kessinger rung me up on the phone and said, look, I want to tell my story, and y'all all know how I feel about Nicole, that's no secret at all. Right? I would open my panel for her to tell her story. Why? Because I want to hear it. I want to. And God knows we've heard a lot of her side of the story, right? But I would still give her the opportunity to voice her side of the story again if she wants to. I would. So remember, we're unbiased here. Don't call me pro-Chris just because I'm showing you another side, a little bit of what the defense would have given out there anyway had there been a trial. You know, don't call me pro-Chris. Don't call me shiner. Don't call me... I've been called a shiner a whole lot more than I've been called pro-Chris. Believe that. Why label people just because they're doing the same thing you are? They're researching a case that caught their interest. Not only that, a lot of people's got very emotionally involved in this case. They almost feel like they're a part of the family. This case has consumed more people than any case I've ever seen in my life. There's so many cases out there, but this one keeps pulling you right back in. You all know how many times I've said, unless there's something new, I'm not going to say nothing else about it. I'm not going to regurgitate things that's already been said. And I'm damn sure not going to get out here in front like I have information. You know, nobody's... I'm not going to do that. If you ever hear me say that, you know, it's a message or, you know, this is a live, you know, whatever, I can assure you, unless I just have in my title that is just a random chit chat or we're just going to have a little discussion, if I ever say that it's something different, it's something different. And my thumbnail and title was not clickbait yesterday. Don't even know how anybody can say that was clickbait. Clickbait is something that says world exclusive, breaking news, never before heard or seen. Even though that really was kind of the case, I'm not going to put it out there like that. I'm going to put it like it was. It was a personal message. I'm not going to hype it up. Because why? You know, if you're interested in the Watts case, you're going to look at it. No matter what the title is, or, you know, that's the way I feel. And if you're not, you won't. And if you're just wanting to look at it just to come in and cause trouble, then don't do that either. Because it's not going to do you no good. Please unsubscribe from me right now if you're not unbiased and you're not open-minded and you're not willing to look at every side of not just this case, any case I cover. Even the Menendez case that I'm doing now, it's got it's a very controversial case, and I will put all sides out there. And a lot of them is going to be very unpopular from the way I understand it now with the TikTok community, but it's facts and evidence, and I will put it out there because you can't tell half the story, you got to tell it all. Also, please don't leave hateful, bashing, rude, and belittling comments below. If you don't agree with things, that's fine. And you can even say, I appreciate the information, but, I just can't buy it. That's okay too. That's different than saying, oh, they're just a bunch of lying, this, that, and the other, idiots, evils. I mean, come on. It almost makes someone's IQ level fall drastically low when they come out attacking, as opposed to being respectful. It's just, that's the way I see it. I don't know. Maybe when I was 15, or, oh my God, she's mad, there's about to be a throwdown or something. I'm not 15, I'm not 14, I'm not 10, I'm an adult. So now, to me, that just looks very, I'm not even going to go into it. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. So I'm not doing that. So remember that. Don't do it in the comments. It'll be deleted and you will be blocked. Because I am tired of creators, these two families, or anyone for that matter, anybody. I see it everywhere, being belittled and shamed and bullied and name called. I'm sick of it. And I'm just not going to deal with it. So there is a high likely that we're going to be bringing more of the other side. I'm not going to promise you that, but there's a high likely. Cher had a live yesterday morning. She actually talked to Ronnie before I did yesterday, and she talked to Cindy as well. And she answered many questions in her live that I didn't get the opportunity to have the viewers last night be able to answer because I had to cut the live short because of all of the rudeness and the terrible things that were being said. I just cut it off because I'm not dealing with that. But if you were trying to ask a question and possibly I didn't get around to answer it, which is, I don't even think I was able to answer, but one or two maybe. Maybe it was answered on Cher's live yesterday morning. But the link to her live yesterday is in the description box below if you would like to go look at that. And I recommend it if you still have questions. Maybe you'll get an answer there. Also, Mr. Cher's son-in-law, aka Prairie Boy, he done a video today as well. He done an amazing job. He was just explaining in better ways the same thing I just said. Stop hitting these two families against each other. Please stop trying to put a divide there between these families. Stop trying to create hate and drama and pit these families on each side, because it's not that way. They support each other, and I think they need to continue to. They both share that one very special thing, their grandchildren. They both lost. So no matter how you feel about either side, don't degrade the other side. And if you can literally sit here and listen to everything I just said, and you're still thinking in your mind that I'm wrong about what I've just tried to talk to you about, then this channel's not for you. And I'm not going to touch on this again. This is it. I hope, I pray. I don't think I will have to touch on this again. In the event we do have another live, and I feel we will, for sure. And we are bringing things out, and truths, and I don't know, whatever. Don't come in there showing yourself. Don't come in there being rude. If that is your plan, please don't just unsubscribe, block me. That way you won't even have to see anything of mine. You will never have to see the other side from me or here, ever. I don't want to have anybody, I don't hate anybody out there, even the ones that were bad-mouthing me, because I don't have time for that. I don't. I have a family. I have lots going on in my real life, and I just don't have time to sit and fret on you being mad at me or you calling me a name. Yes, it's hurtful, but you know what? Having this YouTube channel has made my skin so much thicker than I ever thought it would be. And believe me, I've dealt with the public a lot, and some very important issues, and yeah, court being one. And I'm not even going to go into all that, but I'm just going to tell you, YouTube can be vile. And I fully believe most of them that is out here spewing this hate, I don't think they would do it if they were in that courtroom. I think they would sit there and listen to the other side. Just karma has a funny way of finding its way back to you. I've always told my kids, life's like a boomerang, and whatever you throw out there, it's going to come back to you 10 times harder eventually. So make sure to either throw out good, because you want the good to come back, or just don't throw nothing out at all. And that's just the way I feel, and that's the way I was raised, and that's the way I've raised my kids and grandkids. Okay, guys, I hope this made some sense. I hope you get where I'm coming from with all this. There's your choice. You can either unsubscribe or stick around for more. And don't be leaving no bad comments, because it ain't going to do you no good. Alright, guys, have a great day, night, evening, wherever you may be. And until next time, this is Unjustified.